Hello everyone, this is Urvashi Chauhan and you are watching Courts Today by Livelaw. We bring you the latest and in-depth legal coverage. Here is a brief of what all happened in the Indian courts today. Starting with an update on the ongoing NewsClick case. As you know, NewsClick founder and editor-in-chief Prabir Purkayas and human resources head Amit Chakrabarti were arrested earlier this month on charges of the portal receiving funds for pro-China propaganda. They have approached the Supreme Court in an SLP challenging Delhi High Court's decision which upheld their arrest under UAPA. A bench of Justices B.R. Gawai and Prashant Kumar Mishra today heard the case and issued notice to the Delhi police in both the pleas. Although it initially planned on directing the matter to be heard after 3 weeks at the request of senior advocate Kapil Sibal, the court ultimately agreed to schedule the hearing on 30th October. Stay tuned. In a significant update, the Delhi High Court has today ruled that the power of Enforcement Directorate to issue summons under Section 50 of PMLA does not include the power to arrest. A bench of Justice Anup Jairam Bhambani observed this while dismissing a plea moved by one Ashish Mittal seeking quashing of an ECIR, that is Enforcement Case Information Report, registered by ED in 2020. Mittal also sought stay of all the proceedings emanating from the ECIR. The court said that the ECIR was not before the court, nor was he entitled as per law to be given a copy of the same. Importantly, the court observed that the power to arrest was conspicuously absent in Section 50 of the PMLA, which empowers ED officers to arrest any person subject to satisfying the conditions mentioned there. Justice Bhambani also said that Section 19 and 50 of PMLA were two separate and distinct provisions, and the exercise of powers under one could not be restrained on the apprehension that it could lead to the exercise of powers under the other. In another important update, the Supreme Court today set aside Guwahati High Court's judgment which invalidated BJP MLA Dang Vimsai Pul's election to the State Assembly in 2019. She is the widow of former Chief Minister K. Pul. The High Court delivered the verdict on an election petition filed by her opponent in the election, alleging that she had not disclosed 6 properties of her late husband in the election nomination form. The High Court had invalidated her election on the ground that she had not presented her nomination paper in accordance with Section 33 of the Representation of People Act, and so was liable to be rejected. But today, the Supreme Court bench comprising Justices A.S. Bopanna and P.S. Narasimha allowed the appeal filed by Pul and dismissed the election petition filed against her election. In May, the Apex Court had granted interim relief to her by ordering that no by-election would be held in her constituency during the pendency of the petition. The court had also observed that Pul would be entitled to all privileges as an MLA. The next update is regarding spreading of fake news about attacks against migrants from Bihar in the state of Tamil Nadu. The videos of Hindi-speaking migrant workers allegedly being attacked in the southern state were shared widely on social media in March this year. They were eventually debunked as fake by fact-checkers and the state police department, but not before causing widespread panic. 2 writ petitions were filed in the Supreme Court by Uttar Pradesh Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson Prashant Umrao. First, seeking clubbing of multiple FIRs and complaints filed against him over his social media posts. Regarding this, Tamil Nadu government today informed the court that only 1 FIR had been registered in the state against Umrao. As a result, this petition was closed by a bench comprising Justices B.R. Gawai and Pankaj Mittal. The second, an SLP was filed by him against the condition imposed by Madras High Court while granting him anticipatory bail. The condition imposed required him to appear before the Tamil Nadu police for 7 hours every day for 15 days. In April, the court had passed an interim direction modifying the bail condition, allowing him to appear once in the station and whenever required by the investigating officer after that. Today, Umrao's special leave petition was made absolute in terms of this temporary directive. Let me also tell you, on the last occasion, the court had expressed displeasure over the wrong information shared by Umrao and had observed that he should be more responsible, especially as a lawyer. He was also asked to tender an apology for spreading misinformation. In a case regarding the eligibility of a candidate from the EWS category for the UPSC Engineering Services Examination 2022, the Supreme Court has granted interim relief to a candidate. The petitioner had applied for the ESC, that is Engineering Services Examination 2022. According to the notice, candidates applying for the EWS category should possess an income and asset certificate, and the deadline to submit the same was 4th October 2022. The petitioner claimed to have applied well before the deadline, submitting the certificate for the financial year 2020-21. After clearing the preliminary examination, he appeared for the mains exam held in June this year. Upon the declaration of results, he was successful and obtained an income and asset certificate for the financial year 2021-22 and duly submitted the same also. However, UPSC declined to include his name for the personality test, citing that the certificate was submitted after the closing date of the online application. The Supreme Court bench, comprising Justice Hima Kohli and Justice Asanuddin Amanullah, was hearing a writ petition by the petitioner challenging his rejection. The court issued notice to UPSC and directed it to allow the petitioner to appear for the personality test of UPSC ESE 2022. Meanwhile, his results shall be kept in a sealed cover till the next date of hearing, that is 20th November. Last year, a video went viral of an incident of flogging in Gujarat's Kheda district. A group of young men were reportedly brought near a pole where they were subjected to physical abuse by police officials. This police action was allegedly after the communal clash in Undela village. It is alleged that some intruders pelted stones at the crowd during Navratri celebrations. At least 40 persons were arrested in the incident. A contempt plea was moved by 5 members of an affected family seeking contempt action against the accused police officers. In an update, the Gujarat High Court today found 4 police officers guilty of committing contempt of court for violating the Apex Court's DK Basu guidelines and sentenced them to undergo simple imprisonment of 14 days for publicly flogging Muslim men. However, the order of sentence has been stayed for 3 months following a request from the counsel of the accused to file an appeal against the order. A bench of Justice A.S. Suppiya and Justice Geeta Gopi was displeased in passing such orders, asking the officers to undergo simple imprisonment. The court has also imposed a fine of 2,000 rupees each on them, failing which they will have to undergo a further 3-day imprisonment. The next update is from the Kerala High Court. The single-judge bench of Justice Devan Ramchandran was considering a batch of pleas by persons who mostly comprised of retailers and small businessmen. Their accounts had been frozen due to the advisory issued by the competent investigating and police authorities. The reason was certain unknown people had transferred certain amounts to the accounts of the petitioners using the UPI platform as part of a cyber financial crime. The petitioners were aggrieved by the incalculable loss and the unspeakable prejudice that was being faced by them due to their accounts being rendered unavailable for operation. The court could not understand as to why their entire bank accounts had to be frozen when the requisitions mentioned the exact amount suspected to have been credited to their accounts. Accordingly, the court directed the banks to limit the freezing orders issued only to the extent of the amounts mentioned in the requisition issued to them by the police authorities so that petitioners could carry out transactions beyond that limit. Although court was of the view that it could not intervene at a juncture when investigation into various cyber crimes was still underway, it still considered it necessary to infuse certain safeguards in transactions through UPI platform. India's secularism embodies religious freedom and harmony. It promotes equal treatment for all faiths, fostering a diverse and pluralistic society. This foundational principle is the reason why various religions coexist peacefully and practice their beliefs without discrimination in our country. Explaining the same, the Tripura High Court has rebuked certain Chakma community organizations for allegedly boycotting and outcasting 2 tribal Chakma families who embraced Christianity. A bench of Justice Arindam Lodh was dealing with pleas moved by 2 Chakma community families, claiming that they faced discrimination from members of their tribe after they embraced Christianity. And now various social embargoes had been placed against them. The Bichar Committee of the Chakma organizations had passed an order declaring them as anti-social, outcasting and depriving them of socializing, mixing and interacting with the members of Chakma community. One of the petitioners, who is an auto rickshaw driver, has been further affected because the members of the community have been warned not to use his auto rickshaw for transportation. The court took a grim view of the matter. It said that every citizen has a fundamental right to preach, profess, and choose his religion. Accordingly, it directed the state administration to take necessary measures to stop the religious persecution of the families and to not hesitate in arresting those who indulge in unlawful activities and violate the provisions of the Constitution. Thank you for joining us. If you wish to know more details about the cases I mentioned here, you can visit our website at www.livelaw.in. Stay ahead with quick legal updates only on Live Law. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe and support us. You can also support us by donating through the thanks button at the bottom of our videos or consider becoming a member at just 89 rupees per month.